Hey, hey, beautiful divine one, and welcome back to another drop-in episode of The Sacred Spiral. I'm Sylvia, and I'm an intuitive guide, energy healer, your voice note, BFF, and all things angel stories, sacred soul whispers, divine downloads, and beyond. And sometimes I'm going to be on video when it allows, and sometimes I'm just in my car showing up messy, but always from the heart. So today's episode is going to be for the sensitives, the messengers, the intuitives, the muses, and for the ones who sense something in others before they've seen it themselves. So let's talk about it. So this is a private story, and I'm going to keep a lot of the information private, but let's talk about sacred reflection, curiosity, and being the spark that lights someone else's fire. So lately, I've been following these gentle nudges because I've learned in my past, if I don't follow the gentle nudges, they can become harsh 2x4s. So I have been guided to interact in this wonderful community that I'm a part of that's doing the 111-day challenge of sharing their sacred soul expressions out in the world, however that be for them. I'm doing this little mini podcast. So I've been guided to ask people just inquisitively because I'm curious that way. Privately, like in our frequency family in the Divinely Aligned Collective, and just letting what my nudges and intuition had to say. And it's almost like I feel the frequency before it forms. And the nudge tells me, oh, that's what so-and-so might do. But that sounds really weird, Well, maybe, I don't know, because I don't know them that well, but why would I get this information? So when I'm getting these kind of nudges, I found that a lot of people don't fully see their own gifts because they're living them, but they haven't quite named them or connected them or just figured out like a way to infuse a lot of things they're just brilliantly talented in. But I just get this knowing. And so I just had recently allowed myself to live in my now and follow the nudge and ask these people a simple question. What might start as like a simple comment in a community, move to a DM because then I can voice clip. And then the next thing you know, we might be on a phone call. And what I said to them completely lit them up. And what does it mean to be a muse? So here's another thing I learned is sometimes you're just the mirror that reflects something they couldn't see yet. And it's not about like knowing more or anything like that. It's just about noticing. It's about feeling the frequency. It's like, when you just know somebody would be a good fit for something or a good fit for an environment or a team. I have that sort of innately as a talent, and I've had that for a while. And well, there's somebody in the community, and he's my friend Adam, and he has got his own YouTube channel, and he's Awakening with Adam. So shout out to Adam. And I hadn't really even met him yet, and he hadn't even met me yet, but like he just kind of watched me interact with the group how I naturally do. And what popped into his head was, she's a muse. And he said that's what he had gotten for me because I had to share what I had gotten for him. And I said, I've heard of the word, but I've never actually looked up the meaning before. So I did, and wow, like I absolutely have been a muse my entire life and had no clue until I looked up the meaning. I described it to my husband, and he's like, well, yeah, that's you. And I was like, well, you know, there's the point of what I made earlier is like sometimes you don't even see your own mirror like everyone else notices. So a muse is someone who sparks inspiration in others. someone who awakens the creative fire in artists, thinkers, visionaries, just by being who they are. Not by pushing, not by teaching, just by existing in their truth. And I've been told that in some of my client reviews that they just say, Sylvia's a truth teller. Like, and I actually have stuff like that, and it's on my website now because that's what people have said that have worked really closely in intimate containers with me. And when I read that, I got full body angel bumps. I couldn't believe it because that's exactly what had been happening. And I didn't even realize it, nor did I realize that I really was that kind of person my entire life and had no idea what the meaning of a word in this definition meant. I've heard of it, but I didn't really know what it meant. So anyway, so these little nudges, that's so funny to me. I mean, these little nudges that I go, that's really wild. But they go from like a comment to a message to the voice clip to the phone call. And by the end, the person's completely amped up and inspired and ready to take action on the nudge or the information, this intuitive download hit, whatever you call it. I don't know how people refer to it, but just a knowing that I have. And not because I coached them and not because I pushed them, just because something clicked. And almost like I posed a question, does like this excite you at all? Because I have no idea why I'm getting this information. And it ends up being like I handed him a key. And I get this visual like I'm this janitor with this master key ring and a master key holder and this giant ring of spiritual keys that are jingling all around. And just by listening and feeling into the frequency before it forms about that person and genuinely being curious if they've ever thought of doing this or that, I'm able to find that key, the one that unlocks the door, the exact door they've been standing in front of. But they still have to walk through it. But now at least it's open. And, the little steps where the conversation begins with, a comment in a community, to the DM, to the voice clips, to maybe a phone call if it goes that far, or a bunch of voice clips. It just depends on everybody, right? That's what it took for me to figure out which key to hand them so that that door opens. And then when they see that door opens and the aha moment happens, it's like you can feel it. The whole frequency shifts. And what I used to visualize is like dot to dot puzzles. I don't know if you ever played that as a kid, where it's like you're trying to form this picture, but you can't quite figure out the next dot. And I just illuminated it for them. And then they're like, aha, now I know the picture draws a whatever. So, and I've always had that with clients and with people that I've talked to. But at the same time, like, look at me, I'm learning that my whole life I was a muse. I didn't even know that a muse was a thing. I mean, I knew it was a word, but I didn't know how much I identified with it. So, like, I'm learning stuff about myself in sharing stuff that seems really out there and random with others. So, we are all sacred mirrors and facets of the same diamond, just kind of, or like with Courtney, who leads the community, she calls it like a disco ball. Like every single one of us is a mirror on that disco ball. I always like to use the facets of a diamond because there's different parts of the diamond that you can look into to get a different perspective of the actual same diamond. So everyone is holding a unique angle with their unique light, with their unique brilliance. That sometimes your reflection is clearer for someone else than it is for yourself. And sometimes their reflection helps you remember what you forgot you were even carrying all along. So this message is really, if you speak and they light up in that moment, you feel seen too. I'm telling you, I had all kinds of signs and symbols happening as this conversation was taking place. It was just like a choreography of things were happening all at the same time as this information was flowing freely out of me. And so when the chimes ring and I got full angel bumps in my entire body, including my ears, all the way up, like all the way down in my spine to my feet, back up like a tuning fork reverberating. And it, like, I could feel it to the tip of my ears. It's like the universe saying, yes, right there, right here. This is the alignment. My angels are like singing, the choirs are dancing, all the things, right? And it's like, what I've realized is you don't even need to know why that information is coming to you. And don't let your mind confuse you and say, oh, I don't want to say that. I don't want to offend somebody. I don't want to this, that. Just follow the nudge. Say the thing. Ask a simple question. Because even if it feels completely out of left field, because I have no idea why I was getting this for them, if it even made sense to them, just ask. And that's what I did. I pose a question, give them a chance to respond, and then let their energy do the rest. So you have really nothing to lose and everything to gain, because what I've been met with is, or what I've also learned is to trust my intuition even stronger, because that was a divine download, not for my sake, but for someone else's sake, and giving them the key to unlock their door, to continue to unlock doors for other people. It's the ripple effect amplified. And what I have been met with as I've allowed myself to kind of just reach out to people when I get these intuitive nudges, like allowing it's it's been met back with complete excitement, because something in me reaching out to them with these little nudges that I feel for these people, these energies and frequencies that I'm getting for them that they may not see in their own mirror, that aha moment is the click that changes everything. And that click is sometimes all they needed to shift into that next highest version of themselves on that path. And I bet it was divine. There's no mistakes. There's Everything is divinely orchestrated. Us humans have no idea how many things they have to put in order in us for us to meet certain people on our path to get the thing to go to the next thing, right? So that higher next version of themselves that I just clicked into place by giving them the key to open that door, for them to feel lit up, fired up, to start creating again, sharing their voice, living even more authentically than they are now, and embodying what's already inside of them by also receiving for their natural and innate gifts. And so coming to my mind when I was thinking about this and trying to put it into a recording, is the quote that Glinda the Good Witch told Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, because I kept hearing follow the yellow brick road, follow the yellow brick road. And so it's like they were dropping that song, like how random of a song I'm getting, right? But but basically the quote was, "You've always had the power, my dear. You just had to learn it for yourself." So not only for me that quote resonated, for me trusting me to just share the weird thing, no matter how weird it might seem, and no matter how out to left field it might seem, but also for them. They have an arsenal of gifts, and they had no idea how it can impact the world. And I'm excited for what is about to happen. But I'm not going to tell you what. I'm going to leave that up to Awakening with Adam when he's ready. But so my final 2 cents is, stop apologizing for maybe showing up in somebody's conversation with a random thought or a reason. Stop trying to filter yourself with your mind getting in the way of you sharing that information. Stop shrinking your questions, your curiosity, your nudges, and your knowing with the frequency that you're following, because you're allowed to be heard, you're allowed to be seen, and you're allowed to take up space, because you're never too much and you're exactly perfect, and you are the key that that person might need at their current bridge point or their access point to that door that unlocks everything for them. And the people who are meant for your frequency, they'll feel you, they'll find you, and the rest will fall away. And it is all okay, and there's nothing wrong with it. Because right now, we're in the great shifting. Like, it's a big shuffling. Relationships are ending, marriages are ending, other people are coming together, people are finding new frequency family, new soul family that they've never met before, but they feel really, really familiar. And that's all happening all right now. And I'm here to tell you that it's all going to be okay. Say that thing. Do not hold back. Listen to those nudges, because you don't want them to become harsh 2x4s. Say the thing. Be the mirror and that reflection of that brilliant diamond within you that's just going to shine the light just perfectly for the other person to completely get it and light up, because they're sparking that little spark and flame within them. Because another quote came to me: a candle loses nothing by lighting another candle. And you, my love, are already on fire. So, thank you for listening to me and letting me share this story with you. And thank you for putting up with my audio at this time. I have to get a microphone. I'm realizing that I sound like I'm in a box. My husband, I've been sharing these with my husband. He goes, "You sound like you're in a box." And I said, "I know, it's bothering to me too, but sometimes in order for me to get the quiet that I need, I have to hide in a box, which is in my car." Because my house is very active, and my good microphone picks up all the activity, and I just didn't want to be with that. So until I get a little wireless mic that is a lot clearer, stick with me. But I thank you for being here and having patience with me with the crappy audio. That might be just my ego mind thinking it's crappy audio and you could be completely fine with it. But if something in this story clicked in your heart today, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. If you made it this far, if you could drop me a key emoji in the comments, that if you've ever given somebody the key that unlocked the thing for somebody else because you saw it quite easily and maybe they didn't see it, drop a key in the comments. If you've ever had the moment where somebody mirrored a reflection that you hadn't known about your own self, and they were a reflection to you as a mirror, drop a mirror emoji in the comments. So you don't need to prove your power. You don't need to prove anything. You just need to be here authentically as you are, just trusting it, moving on with it, no matter how wild and weird it is. And that's kind of how I felt. Like, just say it, and you're going to be surprised. You're going to actually be surprised at what happens and how well it's received, because you could be that angelic messenger for someone. The one that their angels have been trying to get somebody to get the message to the person with that nudge, and then you just happen to be open and receptive to receive the nudge, and you just happen to know the person, and boom, there you go. Sparks are flying, rainbows in the sky, fireworks are happening, the angels are dancing because the thing was said, and now we're off to the races. So until next time, stay open, stay lit, and stay sacred. Thanks, guys. Bye for now.